Alright, welcome back. We got another one here that we got to do. This is a Model 9 that actually, this thing is immaculate for Model 9. Look at the lettering on the speed dial here, and the finish on this thing. It's got a couple little tiny chips on it, but honestly, if you look at this is disassembled somewhat for shipping as well. But if you just look at the finish on this thing, this thing is just incredible. And it's one of the nice, probably the nicest Model 9 that I've ever seen. I noticed the turntable is a little bit bent. We'll see if we can straighten that out. I don't know if you can see this in the video. It's a little bent on the bearing, so we'll see if we can straighten that out some. But the handle on this thing is excellent. It's like new. I have a note with it saying they're trying to save the cord, so we'll see what the cord looks like. Hopefully we can save this cord, but we'll find out. But I want to plug it in and see if we can run this thing through the speeds and see if it, see what it sounds like. I'm sure this thing's been sitting for a long time. Alright, it does sound good. It sounds like it's dragging a bit though. And the speed cap is extremely hard to turn here. But I think that may be all just signs of sitting around. We also have this decal that the owner sent with it too, which is actually, it's one of the nicest decals that I've ever seen. If you can see, it's foil printed or metallic printed or whatever, which is something I wish I could do, because if you take a look at this one, compared to the ones that I do, you can see I can't get that metallic look on there with the ink that I have. And this is, if you put this one up next to the original, aside from, I'll take off the card here, aside from being lighter, which has probably faded over age, you can see that's such a nice decal. I wish I could find more of those, but I see the little note that was shipped with the decal says that they're no longer being produced, so this is one of the, she apparently got one of the last few that was made. But anyways, I'm going to unplug this and we're going to go ahead, we're going to start taking this apart here. I do want to get a stand to put it on, so I can set it on while I'm taking it apart. Let me look around for a stand here. Alright, so we've got it on a stand here, and let me make sure I got you guys all in view here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, we're going to start taking it apart and see what everything looks like in here. I expect this to be nice and clean. I expect the grease and oil and everything to be dried up and and pretty bad, but as far as wear, I don't expect to find any wear in here. And I gotta get our little washer out of here again. And we're going to pop this handle off. This is getting a restoration back to white and black, so it looks original. It's just going to be, basically a freshen up on the finish from what it is now, because the finish is actually good. Like I said, it's got very few chips in it. And it's got, of course, the fading and all that you find. Everything under here looks nice and clean too. You can see there's a little residue of some oil right there. But overall, this is the cleanest one I've ever seen. Alright. Let's look inside the gearbox here. Yeah, I'm going to speculate that any issues that we find with this is just going to be issues related to its sitting. Alright, we got some grease in here. Actually doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it doesn't seem good, but it's actually not as bad as I was expecting it to be. Gasket on here actually seems to be a little flexible yet, which is weird because usually they're not flexible at all. Clean this off and set that aside. Alright, I'm going to pop these brushes out and we'll take a look at those. As you see, the brushes look brand new. So that pretty much confirms, you know, that this thing has really not been used. Alright, I'm going to scoop a little more grease out of here, and then we'll go start taking the back apart. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of grease in here, so I'm assuming that it's, you know, pretty broke down. Alright, flip this around. Make sure you guys got a good view here. Get that back cap off. Find my ratchet here. No, found it. Kind of stay organized, try and keep my stuff together, but every now and then I've got a habit of just setting stuff wherever. That just amazes me, how shiny and nice that cap is, and how nice that lettering is in there. Alright, this looks spotless in here as well. Make sure you guys can see that. See how clean that looks there. That is pretty amazing. This one here was a real find. You know, a lot of these that come in, you know, they've got so many miles on them, they've got so much wear. You know, they've been used so much, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just common for them because, I mean, they were a workhorse in the kitchen and they certainly did get their work out. It's just rare when you find one that, you know, didn't spend its whole life being worked over. I mean, this thing is just really, really incredible. Can't get that washer out of there. There we go. Now, see, this cap will pop out for us here. Or if we have to finesse it. Yeah, we have to finesse it a bit. Go. I mean, even that in there looks nice and clean. There's no carbon buildup in here. But yeah, you can still see the resistor. Looks like it has lost pretty much every bit of its coating here. But I'm sure that this resistor is still good despite that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just cover that up with a with a coating that can handle the temperatures that these get to. Yeah, there's really hardly anything left of this coating on here, so we'll pick the rest of it off of there carefully and get this coated up. And we'll test it as well. You can see there's some corrosion on here too. I mean, it's that greenish looking corrosion. So we'll have to clean all that off too. I mean, let me see if I can zoom you guys in here so you can see this. I mean, you can see, you know, how far down the corrosion is on here and on that side. See, that side was like this. This whole thing is covered in that greenish corrosion. And, believe it or not, the capacitor is bad. See that? You can see everything is leaked out of there. So we'll replace the capacitor in here too. That one's garbage. Let me get this governor off of here. Yeah, this thing definitely's got some drag going on. When you spin it around, you can feel it dragging. And that's all purely just from sitting. And get these secondary brushes out before I pull that off. Alright, hopefully this will come right off here. Nope. Doesn't seem to move very freely. Alright, we'll have to work on that. In the meantime, I'll finish taking the rest of the parts off of here. Air wire disconnected. Oops. Drop a screw or two. No job would be complete without dropping something. Usually a small screw. One that likes to hide. It's a lot trickier getting to these with the governor out there in the way. I don't think I can get to that, the screws for that. I can at least get this out of here. Alright, now let's see if I can finagle this part off of here. I don't think it's gonna go easily, but now I've got it started. There we go. Alright, so we gotta clean this up a little bit here. You can see there's some corrosion even on here, and you know, I've seen these before. They've sat and you've gotten corrosion on here in between the brush and this. And it's actually broken a connection, and that's one reason why it wouldn't turn on. This one, you know, doesn't turn on fine, but I mean, this has got a sticky residue here on that, on the shaft where it was on, so that's what was binding that up on there. But as you see, we ended up getting it off of there without too much effort. screw number 2. Screw number 3. Oh, I shouldn't even keep count. Alright. Now we get to our plate here and pop this out. Maybe. Ooh. Wow, that was tight. There's a washer on here I gotta try and get off. A little wavy washer. This plate here. Maybe I can get it to just pop right out, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, I think I see why. I don't really see it on here. But if I turn this where you guys can see and zoom in, now you can see right here, this is dented in on that a little bit there, just slightly. So I gotta try and work around that now. You know, and the sad thing is I can't really straighten that out. They just don't want to, once the stuff bends, it just doesn't really want to bend back. But if I go on the other side here, now I don't know if this is going to work. But if I can get more leverage on this side, I may be able to get it. Yeah, it starts to come right until it hits that. Alright, let me see what I can do. I'll bring you guys back as soon as I figure this out. Alright, I've been working it over a little bit with this here, just tapping it on the end, just going back and forth and just giving it little taps to try to very carefully massage that back out of the way. It does look like it moves some, so, and we didn't need that much clearance, so maybe we got enough. We can get this pulled out of here now. You know, we're already farther than we were before. I mean, as you see, we've cleared the edge there. There we go. Alright. Whew. That was a little short. The armature looks good. I mean, you can see, you know, like I said, this is the stuff that happens when it sits. That right there is, I mean, this part right here even feels solidified, not even sticky. Same thing there, that's kind of sticky. Armature, the commutator part of it there looks really good. But, you know, I think we kind of expected that anyways. rest of this apart here. Alright, check our, oh yeah, got a lot of drag on this one here. Yeah, that was really bad. And even this one's got some drag on it, but nowhere near as bad as that one. Let's go pull these out of here. Might as well crack them both loose while I'm here. I'll just pop our shafts out, both at the same time. Okay, yeah, look at that. Look how nasty that is there. I mean, that doesn't even rub off. So you can see what sitting does to these and how that can cause drag, you know, and you can hear it when you turn it on even. You know, you get that sound that, you know, the motor's trying, but it's doing all it can, even when it's not doing it, you're not giving it any work to do. Oh, yeah, and this one is, you see the same way. I mean, there's like a sticky, oily layer on here, and underneath there is, you know, you can see the stuff isn't rubbing off. I mean, that's solid. That's built up solid on there. So that's why I always say, you know, it's a good idea to get these done, even if you do them yourself. And I try and give you guys every tip I can on doing this and you know, getting the old grease out of these and just getting the maintenance done on them so that they'll last. Because, you know, when you've got it running the way this one was, if you continue to use it, I mean, it will eventually burn up something, because that heat is just, you know, all that extra heat that it generates is just not good. And imagine if you got that much drag on a motor just turning it on with not even any beaters in, and then, you know, you're trying to mix up, you know, batter or whatever else on top of that, how detrimental that could be to the motor. You know, and the other thing that I stress a lot too is the cords. You know, I don't know if this one is going to be one that's used or not. She really wants to keep the original cord on here. If it's not completely shot, you know, we'll put it on here, but I always prefer, especially if I know they're being used, I always prefer to get a good brand new cord on there, you know, just for safety reasons. And, you know, I prefer to use the 3-prong grounded cords like you guys see me use. That way, you know, the whole chassis of the machine can be grounded, being that, you know, we do have grounded outlets in this, you know, in this day and age. Alright, so I'm going to take this off the stand now. I'll move that stand out of the way, and I'm going to go disconnect this cord here. We're going to take a look and see what the deal is with this cord. I mean, the outside part of it looks really good, and I don't hear crunching when I, you know, when I bend it back and forth, but I guess that can always be deceiving. I guess you're not always going to hear it crunching around on you. Once you get a look at it in here, I mean, it'll be a good clue Okay, you don't want to come off, do you? For whatever reason, I am just losing my tools today. Alright, bear with. Alright, I'm trying to get it together today. Keep misplacing stuff for whatever reason. Alright, get that off of there. Let's pop this little seal out of here. Isolator, whatever it's called. Of course, not all of it's going to come out, because it never does. Alright, let's get a look at our wires in here. Really hard to see them here, but let me see if I can cut this cord, cut as little off this cord as possible. Since we got to reuse this, I'm going to need some cord to feed back through here. I'm just going to set this aside here. I mean, the plug-in looks really good on there. I mean, it even had the little plastic cover on it. I don't see it right now, but it's sitting up here on this bench somewhere. Here it is, right there. Had this little plastic cover on it that I just dropped in grease. I don't know. I don't think that's original to it, but I don't know how long it's been on there for, though. Alright, let me see if I can get these clipped. Not quite low enough. This got some really short leads on it here. And I bet you at the factory they were wishing they had longer leads too when they had to solder all these together. Now we're definitely going to give it some longer leads. When we hook it back up, we'll put longer leads on the fuel coil. Alright, let's take a look at the coating on here. Well, it doesn't seem to be dry and cracking. It seems pretty flexible, so I think we can go ahead and reuse this. The black one doesn't seem flexible, but it seems gooey. I mean, it doesn't seem brittle. It's definitely flexible, but it seems gooey. Yeah, like you can just pull it apart. But I mean, it's not cracking, so I'm guessing, you know, if she wants a regular cord on there, I'm guessing that'll be alright. Alright, I'm going to try and separate these last two here from each other. Separate the field coil leads from the RF filter leads. There we go. Let's see if I can get this plastic piece out of here. That seems to really be stuck in there. Yeah, I can't get it to budge. Alright, I don't think it's going to want to cooperate, as in coming out in one piece. It's pretty brittle. I mean, I'm just pulling on it and pieces are coming off. Alright, but I've got it a little bit loose though. Might as well just get out however we can, and they just got to come out of there. Let me see if I can get this out of here. Oop. Ah, see that? That right there is coming apart. You can tell it's soggy. That's one juicy RF filter capacitor here. I don't know. You know, I think all the oil that settles in the bottom as it breaks down and starts to come out, I think it just soaks up into these like a sponge, because they are just cardboard on the outside. Ooh. Well, that'll be coming out in a bunch of pieces. I got a little movement on it. Obviously, nowhere near enough for it to just want to come out on its own. Alright, I'm gonna work on this. No sense you guys watching. Okay, I got that out. I didn't think you guys wanted to sit there and watch me fight with a little plastic piece. It wouldn't make for a very exciting video. I basically had to scrape all the pieces of here that were stuck to there. They were under like a gasket holding everything on there. So I got it out now. Got a mess all everywhere, but that's there. Let me see if I can work on this dang thing here. Yeah, it's stuck in there so good. I'm sure it probably swelled up some too. There we go. Yeah, you see how soggy and gooey that thing is. Nasty. But it won't be going back in, so we don't have to worry about it. Alright. Alright, pop loose our connectors here. Alright, we got our clips disconnected. Wiring's disconnected. Alright, we can start getting our field coil out of here. Now, this is a perfect example of no matter how good these look when you find them, they still do require some kind of maintenance. And I know that not everybody can send them in or find somebody to actually do it. So I think, if anybody's decent with a screwdriver, hopefully, watching these and using the things I show you in these videos can help you out to get this done to your own if you can't find anybody to do it for you, if you can't get it sent in. This might look overwhelming. It might seem like quite a bit of work. And it is. Don't get me wrong, it is. But most of the time, believe it or not, is spent on just trying to get all the parts clean, everything degreased and all the other parts cleaned up and polished and whatever. That's where the majority of the time goes. That's by far the most tedious part of this job. I mean, if it was just taking them apart and putting them back together, that would be no big deal. But yeah, a lot of time is spent on trying to get everything cleaned up and polished up, get rid of corrosion, stuff like that. I mean, even the powder coating process is really not that bad, but everything does have to be clean for it. And it's not just as simple as you know, stripping the paint off and then spraying the powder on it, curing it. There's quite a bit of prep that does go into it. I've got other videos on that if you want to, you know, look through and check those out. And even at that, you still get some things that will go wrong. You'll still think you're completely outgassed and nothing else is coming out of it. And then when you end up coating your part, you end up with that right there. You can see where the oil just ran out of there right onto the finish, and this part was outgassed twice, so that's going to have to get redone. That's one that we got coming up. I think the powder just came in today for that, so we know we can get that one reshot here and then put together soon. That's a Model 3. Well, this fuel coil here is holding on right to the very end. It's right there, but does not want to come out. There we go. Alright, fuel coil's out. There's like a layer of white something on there, but we can get all this off with a dry toothbrush. All kinds of chunks of the ceramic from the resistor falling out of here. So I'll set that aside. I'll get our brush holders out of here. I can get this piece out now. Let me get these brush holders, set screws out. So yeah, like I was saying, you can see on this one here, this is a perfect example of when you have one that wasn't even really used at all. It still requires some maintenance on it. Setting is no good for these. Age is no good for the grease in them. You know, but when they're aged and they're, you know, when they're old and they're being used, you've got your shafts moving, and if you're maintaining it, you do get oil in there, so it doesn't get as gummed up. When they sit is when everything tends to want to solidify, and it's actually fortunate that this thing wasn't seized up. But anyways, I got to get bushing out of here yet and get this pin off. I've got to take the feet off of here and then, you know, strip the parts off of here. But that's something you guys have seen a million times. We've gone through the thing and taken a look inside and, you know, seen what all the important stuff looks like. You know, you guys got an overview of all that, and the owner can see exactly what the inside of her machine looked like. Here's a good view of some of the stuff that has to be cleaned. You know, you can see that greenish corrosion that's on there, and here's some of that waxy stuff that comes out of the capacitor when they go bad. We're gonna get our oil wicks out of here. There's really not a lot left to strip down here, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to get this stripped down, get it ready for sandblasting, powder coat, and then we'll come back and put it all together when it's done. So I'll catch you guys then. Alright, we've got it all wrapped up here. We've got everything powder coated, cleaned up, put back together. We've got, you can see here, we've got the amazing new decal on there. I mean, these things are amazing. I wish I could produce a decal like that. That's like the best replacement decal that I've ever seen. It's really true to the original, that's for sure. But anyways, everything went together smoothly on here. The cord seemed to be okay, so we did put the original cord back on for the owner. We did replace the capacitor, however. The resistor tested good. This thing is just junk, as you can tell. But let's go ahead, let's run through the speeds and you know, see if it sounds any better. Alright, it sounds better. There's no drag on the machine now, so of course the motor's going to sound nice and smooth. The speeds you have infinite speeds from 1 through 10 on here. They all work. I mean, you get to 9 and you can go up to 10 and you'll hear it increase a little bit, so that's all squared away. But other than that, this one is a wrap, and this one is ready to go back to the owner. We got the new feet on the bottom, and we did there's a cord. No, wait, this darn cord. We did straighten this out a little bit. It's still got a little bit of a wobble, but I'm afraid of breaking it, so we did get a lot of wobble out of there. And I hate bending things back once they've been bent, because they always have a habit of either breaking or ripping on me. But anyways, that's way closer than it was. But anyways, this one's a wrap. We're gonna get this one packed up and ready to ship back to the owner. This one's going all the way back to Quebec. So it was nice to see one come down from up there. But anyways, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, just give us a thumbs up and let us know that you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell down there so you can be notified, when we post some more videos. Next we're going to be putting together a Model 3 that we did a little bit ago. We did the disassembly for it. We're putting that back together, and then we've got a couple other ones that need some service and maintenance. So yeah, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you can be notified when we post those videos up. And as always, guys, appreciate all the comments, the likes and all that, and we'll catch you on the next one.